How's it going, guys? David Hedge here, House Hedge Gaming, and today I am doing my very first playthrough on the channel. I am doing a playthrough of Horrified American Monsters. So, you will get to see what I can do by myself in this game. Now, full disclosure, I have already played the game. I'm just doing this introduction for you and an outro for this video. And I will tell you this right now, in the game, I did goof. I did not see the solo play start point at the terror track. I did catch it middle of the game, which put a little more pressure on me, but perfectly fine. Stuff happens, and I was able to catch it. Did not alter the gameplay at all. And if I find anything else I messed up, I'll be more than happy to edit it in, and you'll see it on the bottom of the screen. So, with that being said, can I, David Hedge, David House, survive Cross Creek and the cryptids that reside in this town? More specifically, can I chase down the Chupacabra and save all the goats? And can I ignore the scream of the Banshee of the Badlands? Let's find out. All right, here's my first playthrough on the channel. This is Horrified American Monsters. Now, this game is by Ravensburger Games, and I already have it set up for a one-player game. Now, to do this, you just set out the items on the board. Starting items is 12. Draw them out of this nifty bag here. And you place them all throughout the areas on the board. Now, I do have to question some things, like, for example, what in the world is a goat doing in town center? But beggars can't be choosers. But we have the 12 items on the board. We have the terror marker here on 0. And our suggested monsters, our cryptids for the first game we play, is the dreaded Chupacabra, starting in the farm, and the Banshee of the Badlands, starting in the cemetery with a goat right beside her. Don't ask, don't tell. All right, so what we need to do here, we have the frenzied marker on the lowest ranked monster, which is the Banshee of the Badlands. Each one of these cryptids have certain conditions that need to be met before we can face them head on. So, for example, with the Banshee of the Badlands, we need to get our music note here. This is basically the tune that her companion is playing. If we get it to the safe zone, we can move on to ignore the scream. So we have to survive the skeleton and ignore the scream. For the Chupacabra, we got to save a bunch of goats. 6 goats go right here at the farm, keeping them safe from the Chupacabra, and then once we save the goats, we get to end the predator. So, for each one of these creatures, we have to complete step 1 to go to step 2. Now, for today's game, I decided to go with the journalist because it is the simplest character in this game. You have 5 actions that you can do on your turn, but no special abilities. And he starts out in the tavern. So let's go ahead and get our investigator here into the tavern, because that's where great investigators go to get their information. And I'll actually lay him down and make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. So we have our cryptids, we have our investigator, we have items on the board, and now it is time to play this great game by Ravensburger Games. All right, I'm sat down, ready to go. Again, this is my first playthrough on the channel, so if there's anything that you can suggest I can do better, by all means, let me know. But let us begin the game. I have already gotten my first care package from the FBPI. So let's take a look what this is. This is the ATV. Move an investigator up to 4 locations. So if I need to get somewhere really quick, this will be the way to go. So, first we have 2 phases to go through, the investigator phase and then the monster phase. So in the investigator phase, I get to move, guide citizens, pick up items, share items, advance the tracks here, defeat the monster, or do a special action. Well, I don't have to worry about that last one because I don't have any special actions. But I have 5 actions to choose from. So, with the Banshee of the Badlands, I have to go to the Banshee's location, use one of the brown items, which is usually like livestock. Or I can use the yellow items, which are weapons, to roll dice. And depending on what I roll, depends on if this moves or not. So if I roll one of the power symbols here, or a hit symbol, that means I get to move my violin back a space or 2. which helps me get to the safe zone, which means I can go on ahead and get to number 2, which I would need 2 weapons to defeat the Banshee. For the Chupacabra, I need to find 6 goats all throughout the town, get them to the farm in their respective spaces, and then face the Chupacabra one-on-one and defeat him using 6+ power of items of the weapon yellow variety. So, with that being said, I think the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to collect a bunch of dang goats because I think we need to do that. So, on my first action, I'm going to move here to the town center for 1. Pick up this little goat here for 2. 3. Pick up this other goat here. And then back to town center, and hopefully none of these monsters decide to attack me off the bat. Now, when it's the monster's turn, I need to take one of these cards and do what it says. It gets to add items to the board and also dictates what these guys do if they're on the board. So let's check it out. All right, so we have no place is safe. Well, that's awesome. All right, so we get to draw 2 items first. You resolve these from top to bottom. So let's go with the 2 items here. And the 2 items we have is a goat, which is good. He goes to the ranger station. And we have a pistol, which goes to the sheriff's station, which already has a vest. Next, we move Chupacabra to the furthest location with a livestock, a brown, and remove that token. So the furthest one's going to end up being the mansion. So he's going to go up here, and he's going to eat that goat. Yum, 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 yum. Goat's gone. All right. Next, we go to the ledger here. I'll let you know which ones move, which is currently the Banshee, the Badlands, the Ozark Howler, and the Furied Monster. Now, the Frenzied Monster, if they're both on the same, then it basically means the creature gets to go twice. So, the Banshee is going to move up here to me, which I'm going to be in trouble, and they roll 1 die. And we'll see what happens. All right, so nothing happens on the first one, and then it attacks again. Nothing happens on the second one. If it would have hit, that means I would have had to give up one of my items, which means that would have been a goat taken out, and we don't need to have the goats taken out because we need those to defeat the Chupacabra. But if a power symbol happened, then we'd have to deal with all this stuff, and we'll get to that when it happens. So, but that takes care of the monster's turn. So now let's go back to our turn. So, Banshee didn't do anything, so I'm going to go over here for 1. I'm going to use the advanced mechanic to go on ahead and place a goat on the farm for 2. Do another goat, place it there for 3. Go back here 4, and then go to the city hall for 5. And then lo and behold, we get to do the monster's turn. So let's see here. All right, we have the bellhop. So place Sydney at the resort after drawing 3 items that will go onto the board. All right, so we have 3 items here. We have another goat going to the stadium, which will be right there. We have a pig in town center. Insert your jokes here at this present time. And we have a compass going here at City Hall. So now we find the bellhop, Sydney, which is off to the side here. You might not see it on camera. And she will start at the resort. And for each citizen, there is a special place they want to go to. So for Sydney, she wants to go to the motel. If I can get her to the motel, I get to draw a cool item from here, and that'll help me in the game. Next, we go back to see what monsters are active, which is the Frenzied Monster and the Mothman. So the Banshee is basically going to follow me, and she is going to try to hit me for 2. So let's see what we got here. So let's roll. And you son of a gun. Okay, so good news, I saved the goats. Bad news, I died. So she knocks me out. I go to the hospital. Now, since I got knocked out, this terror track goes up 1. If it hits here, that's the universal symbol of, hey, you just lost the game. All right, so we had that. Everything's resolved. Now we go to my turn. Stand back up after facing off against the Banshee. And I have 5 actions to do this. So, see this little bad boy right here. So I want to see if I can go get him. So let's go 1. Grab an item for 2. 3, 4, and then grab this little goat for the 5th action. And that way it'll help progress me a little bit here in the long run. All right, so now it's the monster's turn. All right, we have the park rangers. So we put 3 items onto the board. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we have another goat at the diner. He may not want to stay there too long. We have a pocket knife at the gas station. And we have a pickaxe at the campgrounds, which makes perfect sense to me. All right, next. Place Ranger Elena at the ranger station. So let's grab the ranger here. And she's at the ranger station, which I'm there. That'll actually help me out. Move the frenzy marker to the next monster. So this means the Chupacabra is now frenzied. Move each citizen 1 space towards their safe location. All right, so the ranger wants to go to the campground. Makes sense. So she'll move down here. Now, here's the bad part. The frenzied monster attacks. Now, the Chupacabra is currently the frenzied monster. So they are going to move over here to the ranger station and try to hit me for 2. Luckily, I picked up a couple items, so hopefully I don't automatically get destroyed by this thing this time. All right, so I get hit for 1. So that means I'm going to give up my flashlight. It is now gone. I want to save the goats, so we'll keep the goat alive. All right, that ends the Chupacabra's turn. Now it's back to me, so I'm just going to stand back up so I can move here. And I got my 5 actions, so what we're going to do is go 1. I'm going to grab a goat. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Basically, I'm being a nice guy. I'm trying to help Ranger Elena get to the campground. I don't know why they're not connected between the trailhead and here, but you know what? I'm not the designer of the game, and I guess that'd been way too easy to get from point A to point B in a straight line. It does the exact same way that I talk sometimes. Just goes, instead of point A to point B, it's like, hey, here, ha, 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 ha. There. All right. So we got that. Now let's go to the monster's turn. And we have the good doctor. We have the doctor with 3 items going onto the board. So we have a map going to the gas station. We have a horse at the resort. Of course, of course. Now I just got to find the resort. The resort's down here with the bellhop. And then we have the general store with a general pocket knife. Next, the doctor will be placed at the hospital, which makes perfect sense, and she's wanting to go to the stadium for some reason. I guess she wants to make sure she catches the local sports team's enthusiastic game that's about ready to transpire. Finally, we have the frenzied monster that will be moving 1, so just 1 down here. And if there's anybody there, it would attack. But luckily, we don't have to worry about that, so we can go on with our turn. All right, back to me. So I'm going to stand up here. So first action, I'm going to go here, take the ranger to the resort. She is now safe, and I get this as a special reward to help me in my travels. So I have equip. Any investigator may give a number of items to 1 investigator no matter where they are. All right, this will not happen for me in this game, but that's perfectly fine. I should have took it out, but you know what? I'm playing the full game, so that was just being a little extra card I have later on down the line. And actually, this should have been gone because the ATV would have been taken out when I got knocked out. So, but it's perfectly fine. All right, so that was my first move. So now let us go on ahead and start collecting the rest of these goats to get back to town. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'll be able to pick up this little boy in a second. All right, now let's go on ahead and go to the monsters phase. All right, Jimmy at City Hall, the councilman. So 3 items we put back on the board. Let's get these 3 items here. So we have a wolf in the cabin. Of all places to have a wolf. You have the motel with a walking stick. And then we have the cabin with a bear trap. Hopefully the wolf evaded it. All right. Now, Jimmy will be at the City Hall. I just need to find Jimmy here. Oh, Jimmy, where you at? Let's see here. Jimmy is currently evading me. So let me actually grab him real quick. It looks like he snuck in with all the other people. There we go. He was late getting to the party. All right, so Jimmy goes there, and then the frenzied monster will move 1, so he's going to move down here because they will want to get to one of the townspeople if I'm not close. So that might be a problem. One of those guys may go very soon. All right, so that's the end of that. So it's my go, so I'm going to pick up this goat for 1, and then I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, and 5. So as long as nothing happens, I have 3 more goats to place on the Chupacabra and get that taken care of. But now let's see what happens. All right, 2 items are going to go onto the board. Now, luckily for me, the Mothman is not in play, so that means I do not have to worry about this Mothman's effect. However, I do have to worry about the Banshee of the Badlands since it's listed down here. They would originally move 1, but since Jimmy showed up in City Hall, the Banshee will attack Jimmy. Now, if 1 hit hits him, he's automatically gone. So let's see. And good news, he lives. Bad news, their special power happened. And it's the whale. Move all violins 1 space towards the skeleton per power icon rolled. So luckily only 1 was rolled, so this means that this only gets moved 1. If that would have been 3, oh good lord, that'd been so bad. But luckily Jimmy lives, and this does not move up because every time a citizen gets taken out, they would have to deal with this. And actually, I just noticed this, so I'm going to wreck this real quick. Solo play, you start at 3, go to 4. I'm already in trouble. All right. That's something that they didn't really have on the first game for Horrified, so I should have read that. RTFB, ladies and gentlemen, read the freaking board. All right, so all that's been done. Now it's my turn, so let's go ahead and save some goats. So 1 goat, 2 goats, 3 goats. So I got 2 more moves. So I'm just going to go 1. And since I'm going to be a nice guy, Jimmy wants to go to the mansion. I will just pick up a pig instead because Jimmy's tough. He'll stay there. He's fine. All right, now let's go to this next card. The next card is Haunted Music. So no items get put on the board. On the Banshee monster map, move 1 violin furthest from the skeleton 2 spaces toward you. Suck. All right. So 1, 2, I need to take care of that in a minute then. I didn't mean to do it, but I think I'm going to have to. And then the Bigfoot, Chupacabra, Mothman would go on. So let's say that the Chupacabra can go to either one of these citizens. I'm actually going to have him go to Jimmy because Jimmy's got a good luck charm. Jimmy's got this, no problem. Jimmy can live. Jimmy's fine. No, Jimmy's gone. So Jimmy is done. And this moves up to 5. 2 more oopses, and I'm in trouble. All right, so this card goes, and now it is my turn once again. So I don't have to worry about Jimmy. That's perfectly fine. I don't have any more goats around, but I do need to take care of that Banshee. But I also need a bunch of items. So let's go on ahead and go 1, 2 to get these. I'm going to sacrifice this pig for the 3rd to see if I can move my violin away a little bit from the Banshee and her companion. So I get to roll 1 die, and on a power hit, I get to move back spaces to the safe zone, 2 spaces. All right, so let's see. All right, so I get to move back 2. So I was a little bit allured from the first time, but you know what? I'm good. So that was 3 actions. 4th action will go to the gas station. 5th action will pick up these 2 items here. Come at me, bros. Let's do this. All right, and now let's go on ahead and go to the next card. So, hey, I just got to the gas station. There's a grease monkey there. That's perfectly fine. All right, so 3 items will hit the board. Let's hope that one of them's a goat, and it is. It's at the sheriff's station. Must have got that promotion that's been working hard for. Diner will get a canteen, and a pig will be at the bait shop. That's actually pretty funny to me. In a game full of cryptids, and you're using livestock as bait. So next we put the grease monkey. We put Gus at the gas station. So Gus will go there. And then Bigfoot and the Frenzied Monster will go. So the Frenzied Monster will go here, and they're going to attack for 2. Now, since there's myself and the citizen there, I can choose which one it hits. I think I'm just going to let Chupacabra hit me because I'm 2 spaces away from losing the game. And their special power went off, which means discard 1 livestock brown from the board per power symbol rolled. So Luckily, we have options for livestock. Let's go ahead and take care of this little piggy. This little piggy went to the Chupacabra stomach, and it is gone. All right, so everything else is resolved. Now it is back to the hero's turn. Now Gus wants to go to the bait shop, which is perfectly fine, because I would like to go to the bait shop, but I need to get this last goat. So let's go on ahead and do, you're coming along with me, Gus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and get those. And then to the high school for 5. So I'm a little bit a ways from the Chupacabra. This Banshee can definitely get me. Let's see what happens. All right. So 2 items get put on the board. Luckily, the Jersey Devil is not part of this game. There's a bear in the campgrounds, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a flashlight at the high school to catch all those high schoolers making out in the stairwell. All right. So Jersey Devil always waiting. He's waiting in the box, not in part of this game. Next, Chupacabra and the Frenzied Monster will move, so I spoke into existence. Chupacabra is coming to get me. So 1 and 2. So now I gotta deal with a 2-hit attack. But luckily, I saved the goat from here, and I'm definitely well equipped to take a couple hits from the Chup. And I take a hit, so I will discard my protective vest, very apropos. Get that out of here, and that's it for the turn there. So now let's go to the next round for me. So let's go ahead and go here. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and save this last goat. Bye. Gone. All right, so we don't have to worry about this now. We have accomplished the first goal, which was to save the goats. Now we get to face off against that Chupacabra, which let him come at me. I have a 6+ pistol that I'm going to whip that boy. So we got that taken care of. Now that was 1, 2, 3, 4. I got one more move. We're just going to go back here to Town Center and see what happens. So next card comes up. We have Nora at the Diner. So 3 items get put onto the board. Let's see here. We have a, at the tavern, we have the fishing pole. So tavern will get a fishing pole, which is right under Nora. We have at the mansion a horse, must be the new mayor. And we have a goat at the swimming hole. Well, I guess a goat at the swimming hole is better than a snake in my boot. All right, next, the Frenzied Monster and the Chupacabra get to move. So Chupacabra will go 1, Chupacabra will go here, and he wants revenge. He's going to try and take me out. So let's see what happens. I have to roll 2 dice. Rolls another power dice. That means another creature will be gone, another livestock. I tell you what, since we already have 6 goats, now I'm about ready to get this sucker, he can have a goat. So the goat's taken care of. Now we're back to my turn, and first and foremost here, I'm going to use this pistol to defeat the Chupacabra. And the Chupacabra's location, use a 6+ to defeat it. That has to be a weapon, so that's what I'm doing. And ladies and gentlemen, the Chupacabra is now gone from the game. The Frenzied Marker goes to the Banshee of the Badlands, and now I gotta deal with this loud son of a gun. Alright, so that was my first action there. Gus still wants to go to the bait shop, so I'm going to go 2, 3 to go to the bait shop. Actually, I'll go with him. I could just push him down there, but I need to go here. Gus will be saved. And I get one of these cards here. Here we go. Infrared. Choose one. Place Bigfoot on any location or move any monster 3 locations. So luckily this is a card where even though Bigfoot's not in, I can still use it against any other monster because, I mean, what cryptid wants infrared in their eyes, really? So I'll save that for later. So that was 1, 2, 3. I got 2 more actions. So use this action to get these here because I will need yellow later on down the line against the Banshee. And that's 4 and 5. So that is it for that. And now we go to the next monster phase. Okay, so no items go on the board. Mothman's not on the board, so don't have to worry about that. But we do have to worry about Banshee of the Badlands. The Banshee is 2 away from each one, but I'm going to have the Banshee start coming after me because I can actually take a hit. I don't want to lose anybody else. So now it is back to me. And you know what I said about me not needing to worry about the Banshee? I'm hauling butt out of here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to get this wolf and this bear trap. And 5. So we got that here. All right, next, back to the monster phase. Crap. All right, so 2 items will go on the board. That's good. My violin goes 2 closer to the skeleton. That's pretty bad. All right, so a item will go onto the campground, which is here. And we have the gas station. We have a knife. The Banshee will not move. Chupacabra would have moved, but he's already out of the game. So that's it. So I'm just 1 step closer to hearing my final note. Excellent. Let us go on ahead on my turn, because I do need to take care of that Banshee. I do need to take care of this. So I am going to use my infrared to discard that. I'm going to move the Banshee 3 spots closer to me, because I'm going to try and work on this so I can get to this. So 1, go on ahead and get these items here from the campground. 2, 3, and then I'm going to discard a bear trap for 4 to advance this. See if I can actually get to move this back a little bit. Now, luckily for me, with a yellow, I get to roll 2 dice. So if I roll a hit or power on one of these die, I get to move my violin back 2. And I'm able to get to move it back 2. So let's go ahead and move that back 2. And then let's go ahead and do it again, but I'm going to use a bear this time. Oh, that's already there. So use a bear, and I only get to roll 1. See what happens. And I get to move back. Okay, so my next turn, if nothing happens stupid, which knowing my luck it might, I can use this next turn. But let's see what the cards have in store for us. All right, 2 items will go on the board. So, crap. All right, so 2 items are on the board. That means we get a bat at the stadium, makes perfect sense with the binoculars, and a shovel at the cemetery. Now, we don't have to worry about the Ozark Howlers part of this card, but we do have to worry about the Banshee, and we have to worry about the Frenzied monster, which unfortunately for us is both. So the Banshee's going to make 2 attacks towards us, and let's see what happens. Crap. All right, so first off, I got to get rid of an item. I'll get rid of this handsaw. But now, with that, all violins move 1 space. So now I got to deal with this again because of that. So now I can't defeat her. I need to get this back to the safe zone. And she hits me 2 more times. So let's go ahead and get rid of a fishing pole and a compass to take that out. All right, so it's back to my turn. And like I said, things can change at a moment's notice. Now I got to deal with this. So let's see here. I'm going to use a pickaxe to roll 2 dice, see if I can get this back to the safe zone. And I do, so I'm back at the safe zone. And move that there. And then finally, since I have my violet safe zone, I can now go to ignore the scream. At the Banshee's location, use 2 yellow items to defeat her. So I have my 2 yellow items, my rifle and my poison. So I'm dipping the bullets in the poison, loading them into the rifle, or shells, sorry. And then I'm going to blast her away. I'm doing like a Winchester special right now. And this will take out the Banshee of the Badlands. And ladies and gentlemen, Cross Creek is now safe from these cryptids for now, as the journalist who started out the tavern, ending at the intersection of victory and cryptid defeat. Well, I ended up winning the game. I did not think I would after I caught where I needed to be on the solo play track for the terror track. But you know what? I did a dang good job. Saved a bunch of goats, defeated the Chupacabra, ignored the music of the companion of the Banshee of the Badlands, and I was able to take her out in Winchester fashion with poisoned bullets and shells from a rifle. So, had a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to let everybody know that House Hedge Gaming is here for all of your gaming needs. So until next time, guys, stay safe and take care.